It's a nice and quick Alteryx weekly challenge this week. So we're looking at hotel data and we're wanting to calculate the average hotel stay and the number of reservations for each month. It doesn't specify that, but in the output, that's what we're looking for. So spoiler alert. So we've got a lot of information about the date of arrival for a customer split into different date parts. So what we're first going to want to do is to change that into an actual date so that we can calculate the length of stay. So we're going to use a formula tool to do this, and we're going to create a new column called arrival date, and I'm going to change that data type into a date straight away because I always forget to do that and get confused later on. So we're going to use the date time parse formula for this, and if you're not familiar with it, we're taking a string and we're telling it what format that string is in so that it can change it into a date. So we need to concatenate basically the year and the month and the day all together. So this would just, be creating one long string that has all of the information of the separate fields in it. And the format is going to look something like this. So we do a percentage sign and we do a capital Y. And that means if we go onto this handy date time functions website, then capital Y means it's a 4-digit year, which is what we have here. To do the month, I think this is capital B. Yep, we can see that's right because it's changed the month there to July, which we can see there in our first line. And then for day, I think it's a lowercase d. But you can find all of these formulas really handily on this website, which I will link to in the below comments so that you can find it as well, because I always come back to this to nice and simply change my dates into a proper format within one formula. Great, so we run that and we can see that we get all of those lovely dates coming through in a nice structured way. Cool, so we've done that. Now we're going to want to calculate the stay length. So we'll do that, and again I'm going to change this to be a double just because I know it's going to be a number, and it's just simple to have it as a double. And we're going to use the datetime diff function for this. Now with the datetime diff function, you always put sort of the later date before in the first D1, so that will always be the checkout date, and basically our checkout date is going to be in our reservation status date. So then let's just find that, there we go. And then arrival date will be the source earlier date that we'll need, and we want to calculate that in days. So we want to do this, but only where our reservation status is equal to checkout. So check out, I think that's how it's spelled, yep. As in how it's spelled in the data that we're looking at. I do know how to spell that normally. Else we're going to have this as a 0, and we'll just end that. Great. So we're calculating, putting everything else to a 0 basically, because we want to exclude anything that's a 0 as per the instructions. So we'll just filter out our stay length that isn't equal to 0. Lovely. We'll just run that to see that that's all worked. Yep, it looks like it. If we just have a look at, say, this line, yep, that is 4 days. Great. So now all that we need to do to get the required output is use a cheeky summarize tool. So we'll group by the month, and we'll just rename this to be month. Then we will do an average of the stay length. So go into the numeric and average it, and then we'll just do a count of the reservation IDs. I would do a count distinct, but we can see from the data that they are all distinct anyway. There's a row for each reservation. So this is going to be called number of reservations instead. And if we run that, then we should have our desired output. So we've got 12 months there, 12 months here. And if we just check April, then we've got 3.335 and 6535. Yeah, that is looking like that's the same number. So great. Nice and simple this week. Hope that was helpful.